Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Hello and good morning to everyone tuning in to this week's episode of the Weekend Sports Recap. I'm Isaiah Rosario, joined by Keen Taylor and Nick Carparelli once again, who will be joining us for the rest of the semester. So that's definitely very exciting. Thank you for joining for the rest of the semester, Nick.
It's a pleasure and an honor to do so.
So we're going to actually start off with the Prem Champions League before we obviously get into the big storyline of what happened yesterday. So do you want to start off first, Akeem?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about the Champions League. Obviously, for Arsenal, I'm to note from the Champions League for a little bit, but Arsenal are coming off a really bad loss against Southampton, a team that they should have beaten, a team that's playing in the championship that's almost in the playoff, but I don't think they're going to be making the playoffs. It's so annoying that we lost to a championship team. We've been on a poor run of games, losing back-to-back the first time this season, lost to Man City in the Carabao Cup final, which I talked about, that poor performance. But we do have to play Sporting today. Sporting Lisbon from Portugal. They're a good side. They had their old striker, which was our striker now, and Victor Gyökeres, who's absolutely phenomenal for them. But if I'm being honest, I think we should win that game. But there is a chance that if this team doesn't show up the right way, like they showed up against Southampton, they showed up against Man City in that second half, they can get beaten by Sporting Lisbon, especially at Lisbon in the first leg. But I'm going to favor Arsenal to win that game, hopefully 3-1, 4-1. Last time we beat them 5-1, but I'm going to favor like a 2-1, 3-1 win for Arsenal. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. I know you guys aren't the biggest soccer fans, but this is a game that, want to watch a game to get yourself introduced into European football. Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid. I mean, two of the Super Bowl, two of the giants in football. Bayern Munich's absolutely phenomenal. Elise, Luis Diaz, Harry Kane, Jamal Musiala is back. They have a phenomenal defense. Conrad Leimer. I mean, they have a fantastic team, and obviously Real Madrid. They have Kylian Mbappe. They have Vinicius Jr. You have all these fantastic players, Valverde, so it should be a fantastic match. I'd probably favor slightly Bayern Munich because they're at home, if I'm not mistaken, for the first leg. So I'll probably favor Bayern Munich in that game. But it should be a popcorn fest. It should be like 3-2 or 3-3. It's going to be a fantastic game. PSG versus Liverpool. I slightly feel that Liverpool might get either they might spring an upset or they'll show up like they did against Man City this past Saturday in that FA Cup semifinal. They got absolutely thrashed by Man City 4-0. But if that's the same Liverpool team that showed up against PSG, they could get smashed 7-0, in my opinion. But Liverpool's been really poor, but they don't really have anything much to play for in the Premier League. I mean, they could try to get top 4 or top 6 in the Prem, but Champions League is probably the only trophy they can potentially win. So they're going to show up for this game, but I still will favor PSG. And then Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona 3, basically it's the third or fourth matchup. They played each other already in several competitions and also in La Liga. So should be a good game. Madrid did lose, their star hero and cult hero, people that follow Atletico Madrid, Antoine Griezmann. He left to Orlando FC. But I'm probably going to still favor Barcelona. That attack with Rafinha, even though Rafinha is out, you have Lamine Yamal, you have Lewandowski, you have Dani Olmo, you have Pedri. Like, they have enough attackers to beat Atletico Madrid. Probably close game like they were a couple of days ago. They played, I think it was a Friday or Saturday game, but it was a 2-1 win for Barcelona in that game. I think it'll be the same thing again. And then the Premier League's finally back. I'm going to just wrap this up real quick. Premier League fixtures for this upcoming weekend, the major ones, Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Arsenal at home at Bournemouth. It's a 7:30 game. I'm going to be up super early in the morning to watch this game. Bournemouth is a tricky team, but I think we'll beat Bournemouth pretty easily, pretty handily. I would say 3-1 in that game. Liverpool-Fulham should be a really enticing game, but last time out, it was a draw. So I'm going to pick a draw again for Liverpool. And then a game that hopefully I'm going to be hate watching this game because I don't want Man City to pick up points, even though I don't like Chelsea. I will slightly favor Chelsea to get maybe nick a draw in that game because they're at home. So I would say a 2-2 game for Man City and Chelsea. And that was pretty much Champions League and the Premier League wrap-up.
There we go.
Quite quickly.
Very quickly. But thank you, Akeem, for the Prem, because I still know very little to nothing about the Prem, but learning a little bit more and more with every time you recap. So good job.
Yeah, thank you.
So now we're obviously going to get into the big story of the
Okay.
weekend-ish. Definitely the national championship between UConn and Michigan. Michigan did not look good. Neither did UConn, but Michigan was able to pull it out because of their interior presence and timely makes. But overall, I think UConn had that in the bag. I think they just needed to feed it more to Terrence Reed down low. They didn't do that. I think he had the physical strength over Mara.
Yeah.
You could see him back down multiple times, but the height kind of scared Reed a little bit down in the paint, which is very like understanding because that guy's 7'3".
Yeah, he's huge.
And you have to throw it over him. But he had the opportunities to back him down. And that shot when they were down 4 with 40 seconds left, I'm not sure if giving it to Caravan was the move. I think you need to give it to Mullins or Solo Ball at that point. But I think because he hasn't been hitting his shots, he hit in the first half, but then they had like a stat like on that same in the first half on that same end, Michigan really struggled from 3, and the only players that really hit from that side were Mullins and Ball. So I think they needed to find a way to get the ball in that 40 seconds because again, you foul, then it's still a 3-point game at that point if you make that 3. So I think the UConn played well. They played Big East basketball, which was their game plan to force Michigan into a gritty game, and that's the game that was played. I haven't seen the Michigan offense look that bad in a long time. Didn't shoot good at all from 3.
Yeah, 2 of 15, only 2 threes.
Yeah, I mean, UConn did everything they could. I think it just scares me how good that game or how bad that game could have got out of hand if Luxembourg was healthy. So that's my thoughts on the game. I think it definitely could have been a little bit better for UConn, better timely shots, and a lot of stupid turnovers. Like there was one time where they had 8 possessions consecutive, but had 5 turnovers within those 8 possessions, which is not good at all. But Michigan out on top, arguably the best team all year, and they proved it yesterday, winning in not great fashion, but that was like the first real test, I think, throughout the tournament. Was a UConn team coached by Dan Hurley. UConn played solid, but wasn't able to get over that hump.
Yeah, it's like I have a different take about the game. What's your take about the game, Nick? Before I get into my little spiel, because mainly it's about the referees. But
that's too. Yeah. Well, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, what do you think about the game, Nick, from your perspective?
So, all right, Akeem, I'm glad you brought up the refs because this whole talk show could be just about the refereeing. One thing I'll only say about the ref: first half was atrocious. It was 13-4 foul count.
Yeah, it was bad.
And UConn is accustomed to playing Big East basketball, much more physical than the Big Ten, but you're calling the game like a Big Ten game. And so I just think it wasn't very fair. Second half, they cleaned it up. And so I wasn't mad with the officiating per se. But I said this in the beginning of the year that it's essentially Michigan versus the field.
Mm-hmm.
And I for some reason, it feels like they kind of got underlooked as this. Like, yeah, they were 1 seed, but nobody really talked about them in the tournament because the kind of Duke, St. John's,
Arizona
saga kind of overcast them a little bit. But dude, that was, I mean, talking like it was a bad game shooting wise, but I was on the edge of my seat every single play.
Yeah, it was definitely a good game.
It was great because you just have all the sweepstakes. Like Michigan was by far the better team.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly the only reason they won was because they just took their strength. They played to their strengths. They're taller. They're bigger. They got to the foul line. I think you could pull up the stat. They were 24 of 26 from the free throw line.
25 of 28
like
from
that's,
the free throw, yeah.
It's like Shea numbers.
Yeah.
Like, right. That's like that's really impressive. And that's what wins you games. Is like it's if you can make your free throws and win the rebounding battle, you're going to win more games than not. And they do that. They've done that all year. And, I give credit to UConn. Like they held their own really well. I think Solo Ball being in foul trouble definitely hurt them a little bit because that was some veteran experience that could have been on the court that they could have valued. As well, Silas Demery did not play well. He was very underwhelming. And so, like I said, the game was great. I was just very, selfishly, I kind of wanted a different outcome. But I thought Hurley was going to have a seizure on the sideline. Like he was unbelievable. But it was a great game overall, and I'm not mad at the officials or anything because
First half,
it's
I
the
can
national
definitely
title.
see why though.
Yeah, 'cause
That was
I agree.
terrible.
Yeah, the Moretz Johnson.
The hook
one-
and
yeah,
hold was the game changer. After
Yeah.
that, with the ball, and
I agree.
that was the difference in
At
the
first,
game. That hook and hold.
I was skeptical why that was even like, because in real time, I'm just kind of looking at like, oh, like what's
They got
gonna
tangled
happen?
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I looked at it. It's like, okay, like they got that call right because they had
I
to.
don't know if they
the
got
Caravan,
the call right though.
yeah. I mean, like,
Well,
it's
so I
flagrant.
was reading
Flagrant's
into
a
it.
lot for it. I think they just
Yeah.
got tangled up. I mean,
He wasn't like
Well,
it wasn't like
I was reading into
holding,
it.
like making it like tighter, the grip on the arm as he was going up. I think he just tried to still box out.
yeah. He
I
wasn't
think
like,
that's what he was trying to
Yeah.
do, not trying to grab him
No.
and hold him down.
Like I was reading into it, and like one of my best friends is working in to be an official, like the official high school games and low college games, is kind of working his way up. And I immediately called him. I was like, "Explain this to me," and he explained it because you get tangled up, it happens, right? But if both players are tangled, it becomes a judgment call. So therefore, the official kind of just makes a misjudgment. But that's why they go to the monitor to look at it. And so it became a hook and hold because Caravan has to let go in order for him to jump up to get the rebound. So therefore, and he didn't let him do that. And so that's why you give him that call. So I was like, in the moment, I was like, oh, like that stinks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, they probably got that right. I didn't realize it in the moment, but I guess
yeah.
more clear.
What are your
Explain
thoughts
it.
on the game, Akeen?
I mean, like Darren earlier said, that was a big swing. He's mentioned it after the first half. Like they got 2 free throws and they got the ball back, so it's a 4-point swing there. Obviously, I can't blame it all on the refs because there were plenty of opportunities for UConn to step up in that game. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, and then they fouled. I think it was Ronnie Gale, and he missed both free throws, and they couldn't convert. And then there was a couple of possessions over where they made a turnover, and then
Like
Taurus
the fast break.
Yeah, in the fast break, and Taurus Reed just mistimed it and just couldn't get to the ball and just threw it over his back, and they gave the ball back, and they hit a 3 right after that. So that was kind of a game breaker for them. But I mean, like a free throw disparity does matter. I mean, I think overall in the game, UConn had only
12 or 14. free
UConn
throws.
only had 16 free throws while Michigan had 28. Like that's a huge free throw discrepancy. And there was a lot of fouls from Michigan, especially from, even though Elliot Cadeau was phenomenal, he was fouling a lot in that game. So was McKinney. So was Ronnie DeGale. Like they were being very, very physical, and they got away with it. So I mean, credit to them. I mean, the refs didn't call it, but hey, if you're gonna be defensive like that, I mean, hey, if you get lucky, that's what happened. They got lucky on the free throws. But overall, in general, yes, I think Michigan was a better team. Unfortunately, I wanted UConn to win, but gotta give it to Michigan, give them the credit that they deserve.
But yeah, I mean, it was tough if you're UConn fans. You thought you had a chance, and everyone was betting against you. Michigan was heavily favored heading into that game, but I always knew it was going to be a close game because Hurley in March is not to be messed with. And if he won that game and won 3 of the last 4 national championships, I think we needed to have conversations about him potentially being one of the greatest college basketball coaches of all time. Because doing that and making a dynasty and making UConn like an official blue blood, that's nuts. It's what he was
I think
doing, and
you could
he's going
say
to
that they
continue
already
bringing
are.
talent. Oh, they're definitely
I think they
already a blue
already
blood.
are.
Yeah, I think they're
already there. I think, yeah, it would definitely would have solidified his legacy. Like he's already like 3 national championships in 4 years. He's unreal, and the way how he gets his teams to play, like it's like if I can go back 4 years and I had the God gift ability to play basketball at that level, like who wouldn't want to play for that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly,
mm-hmm.
him and like I just but more or less than anything, like how about Dusty May? First off,
Great coach.
Yep, fantastic coach.
He's only in
Second
in year 2, and he's turned that program around so quickly. Like you forget, Michigan was in the dump
Oh, they
2
were
years
really
ago.
bad. Yep, under Juwan Howard. Yep,
In
they were
the-
horrendous.
in the dump, and he's taken this thing, and like I had never seen like before the ball was tipped. I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, this team is they're grown. Every single one of them are grown men. They're all so much bigger In
Mhm.
fact, I was like, this is gonna be tough. I was like, as a UConn fan, I was like, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. It clearly was. But I mean, it was a great game overall. It was a great, just it was just a great game to watch, and it was exciting.
Yeah, definitely missed one of those games because the Final Four games were eh. Most of the Elite Eight games were eh. So I'm happy we got a solid game to end out the year. I don't know what I'm going to do without college basketball because now all tournaments wrapped up. The Crown was wrapped up. West Virginia won the Crown. Auburn winning the NIT. Don't even get me started with Auburn.
Wait, they actually won the NIT.
They won the NIT, but
I was gonna say,
but there was like four-
you're gonna have to.
but there was four mid-major or four power conference teams
Yeah.
that played in that tournament. The rest were mid-majors. Yeah, you're gonna win. You're one of the last teams out of the tournament. If you don't win, then Steve Pearl should be fired. Like it's the NIT
Okay.
when there's four power conference teams in the NIT. Like you should win that game.
I haven't heard more NIT talk since Bruce Pearl became on the air. He just. I mean, it was. I don't know.
I mean,
Do you guys like listen to Bruce Pearl? Yeah.
Not really. He's very biased.
Yeah. But I mean,
No, yeah, for
he's
sure.
been there. Like, how long he's been at Auburn for 20 plus years, and now
Man, look at Nick Saban with College Game Day. He does such a good job and
Yeah,
just trying to
he's-
remain unbiased and doesn't go crazy
Very.
about Alabama. But Bruce Pearl in his first season on the March Madness Sock Show, it's all about Auburn getting in. Oh, they had the hardest schedule and they didn't get in. I'm like, you're a double-digit losing team, and what was it, like 18 and 16 or something, and you
not
wanted to
even
get in?
500.
Like, all right.
Well,
relax.
it's because his son's the coach.
Yeah.
And he also
So-
knows that it was like nepotism hiring him. It's like, oh, was it nepotism
yeah.
hiring him? Yes. I'm like, all right, bro. Like,
Yeah, like I mean, we could get all political with this. I hope we don't, but we're yeah. But on another note, like, and this is totally like this week, and hopefully we'll get to this. This whole week is my favorite week in the sports calendar because National Championship Monday.
Mhm.
You have obviously the MLB's going.
Mhm.
You got the Premier League,
Yeah.
right? And I have been watching because of Akeem. And now you have the Masters. And the Masters is my favorite event every single year. And I don't know if you guys are golf fans.
I am not a golf fan, but
But-
I do turn into a Masters Sunday. Like last year, Rory McIlroy almost choking it with the 2-putt
Right. But then comes and wins it, and it's just
and the
utmost
shoot off or whatever
drama.
it is.
Yeah, like it's cinema every single year.
Absolute
and
cinema
just
meme.
and it's I don't know, it's my favorite event ever. Like I will be glued to my couch on Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know, but that's just me.
So to stick around a little bit more with college basketball, a couple things that we have in our itinerary that kind of linked up together: a transfer portal, and then also every player on the All MAC team for us, the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, which will be changing its names in the coming weeks. Everyone on the first, second, and third team either graduated or hit the transfer portal. Every single one.
Yep.
Which I saw a
Wow.
TikTok. I
Unreal.
reposted it on my own TikTok For You page. Click the repost button. How smaller schools are now getting screwed with the transfer portal and NIL. A lot of big names in the NIL era that are transferring out from power conference teams, which we could get into a little bit more. But for these small teams, these kids are looking to get paid. It's tough. I mean, when you want to try to build a good foundation for your school, it's tough because if a kid has a great year, you can almost expect him to either leave or want higher money to stay at your school. For example, an Amari Monroe probably got a good amount of money from Quinnipiac to stay, and somehow in the transfer portal trying to figure out a fifth year of how to play because of, I think, a medical leave or something at Wofford. It's tough for these small schools. I mean, if we were at a big school, we see it a little bit differently because if you're at a big school, you have the NIL money and you want to bring in a great talent. But when you're here at a mid-major school, it's tough to try to compete and win games, especially if you want to go far in the tournament. And it was great seeing Siena really try to compete with Duke in the round of 64. But again, their star players immediately hit the portal. I mean, there's also Jerry McNamara leaving to Syracuse, and I expect
Mhm.
Gavin Doty
Yeah.
to follow him to Syracuse. I think that's the best option for him. You don't have to really deal with the NIL stuff. if you want to keep playing under Jerry McNamara, you can, and he's probably going to offer you a spot. So I'm interested to see what he does. But looking at the transfer portal, some of the big names here, Juke Harris, one of the better scorers in the country. Florida Budinga is also in the portal.
I think Bryson Tiller as well went to the portal.
Isaiah Johnson from Colorado is another one. Like a lot of decent names are hitting the portal because it's officially open today. So that's why I saw a lot of the Power Conference players hitting the portal yesterday, at least. So, I mean, there's some names I could ramble in there. I'm interested to see where some of these kids go. I know Nick, as a Providence fan, you got Oswin hitting the portal as well. You're
yeah, I mean, definitely with originally to your point about the MAC, all MAC players going to the portal, like that's not a surprise.
It's
like,
not. It just stinks.
Yeah.
It stinks, right? And obviously, I love mid-major basketball. Like, it's such an underrated thing, and just in sports in general. But yeah, like you said, this is kind of where NIL really is taking over, and it's becoming the thing. And I was watching the Field of 68 podcast yesterday, where they had Brian Hodgson, the new Providence coach, on. And he said, and I quote, "I haven't had a conversation with a player or an agent where they haven't asked for less than $1 million."
Wow.
Yeah, that's just greed at that
insane.
point.
That's super insane.
Like, of course, it's agreed.
And these kids talking about how they're spending their NIL checks, what their first purchase is. I'm like, oh.
No, I agree. Meanwhile, I'm over here, and like I know with Isaiah when we were in Manhattan, I'm trying to just afford to go to Best Deli to get a sandwich. But
and I think Budinga or Budunga is going to Tech.
Which is interesting. I mean, with JT Toppin potentially even, I mean, that's
a good spot for him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I think it just broke.
These teams.
And DJ Wagner.
These teams just reload.
Arkansas.
And these teams just reload and reload.
Yeah.
They just reload, and it's tough. Like, I just hope with mid majors, like, they'll still be good. It's just gonna be a continuous cycle, and it's new. Eventually, we're just gonna have to have some sort of structure where guys have to have if treat them like professional players, contracts. Treat them like professional players, right? They sign a 2-year deal, 1-year deal, 3-year deal, right, with opt-outs and guarantee money. Like, it's a professional contract. Like, I don't know why it doesn't, because then this whole bouncing around thing, it screws up a lot of stuff, because then you got to take in eligibility, because then people are trying to grant for another year, and then they're transferring again. Like, I forget who it was, but there's some player. I'll pull it up on my phone I'll find it. But I think he was playing for Kansas State. I forget his name. He's been at 4 schools in 4 years, and now he's transferring again for a 5th time.
Eesh.
It's like how do you even have 5 years to play? Number one, and number two, like, nobody cares about this, and nobody talks about it. But it's like, how are you going to graduate? That's another thing.
How do you get a graduate year?
Yeah. No, how do you graduate?
Like, how do you
graduate?
graduate?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Like,
because of the transferring credits and stuff. I don't think they even bother graduating. Like, a bunch of the Michigan players saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna go to class for like the next month because we won the Natty." I'm like,
that's crazy.
How are you, like, as a parent?
Yeah.
Okay with that? Like, you're going to school, you want to get your degree, and that's why I also was thinking about the other day. I really give props to these mid-major schools, because you have to go to class and still want to get your degree. So I give major props to all these mid-major student athletes who still go to class, still put in the hours for practice, still travel for games, still have game days. It's not easy. So I want to give props to at least all the mid-majors, because the high major programs don't really care about classes at all. And like, when you have players vocally saying, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to go to class. Why would I want to go to class? We just won the Natty." I'm like, what was it? Was it Luke May when he hit the game-winning shot and I think a Final Four, Elite Eight, and went to class the next day?
Well, I mean, that's UNC and Duke. I mean, they're kind of have like a academic thing. Like,
Duke players aren't going to class.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You never know.
Yes, you'd be surprised.
Yeah,
but I think also you look at Luke May. He knew he wasn't an NBA talent, so still going to class, getting your degree. I think it's better to. I can't say because I'm not a professional player, but it's almost just as proud to get your degree as it is to play college basketball, because you have so much countless hours studying, and say if the professional league doesn't work out, you can still do something that you love. And so I got to give props to the players that still do go to class. But
also, I feel like that's like a rare scenario.
That's right. That's why I have respect for the Ivy League.
Yeah, the
I
Ivy
have
League.
so
You
much
need
respect
good
for the
grades
Ivy.
and
You
stuff
have to.
like that.
Look at Xavier Lee. He
And you-
just left Harvard to go to Florida. He probably already has his degree at this point. But
Right.
What was it? Carson Beck who said, "Oh yeah, I already got my degree, but I'm
Yeah.
still playing." I'm like,
yeah, he was
what?
at Georgia. Yeah,
If you graduate, you should not be able to play. Like the
he's
way
a chooch.
it's so weird.
He's a chooch. I can't. It's unbelievable. But yeah, Ivy League people, like I have so much respect for them because you're playing. Like I was reading, I saw it was on TikTok, which not the most reliable source, but whatever. Like I'm putting the Ivy League to me as a top 5 in all of sports, top 5 conference in all sports, because you have guys that are really good at their sport will deny to go to a high like a Big Ten or an ACC or SEC school because it's an Ivy, and you can still get drafted, and especially in college, more so maybe in college baseball than basketball or football, but you could still get drafted from there. And if you don't get drafted, you're set for life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just me, but I don't know.
Good take.
But I know we
probably should
up-
transition. I think now that college basketball is done, I think we'll be able to have more time for our viewers to talk about more of the professional sports, because I think half of our shows since college football and college basketball, half the show has just been talking about college. And I'm not complaining. I love talking college basketball, college football.
Mhm.
But I think now with the NBA playoffs starting up in about, I think, a week and a half,
yeah, it's like less than like 6 games left, I
Mhm.
think, if I'm not mistaken.
we could finally give our full efforts into NBA. So Nuggets
Mhm.
defeat the Spurs on Friday night. I think that game is going to be the epitome of what the West playoff is going to look like. It's just going to be gritty. It's going to be close. Like the Spurs were up like most of the game, and then a fourth quarter comeback.
Yeah, they're up by 13 by the biggest lead in the game. But yeah, Wembanyama, that team is insane. Obviously, we will also talk about Wembanyama a little bit, but that Denver team, man, they're really, really good. Obviously, Jokic is and like the MVP race is insane this year, which you have like 3 guys that can win the MVP any year.
Any
like,
other year, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, obviously, Luka went down. And he's going to be potentially out for even the first round, potentially, it looks like. But like Jokic, Wembanyama, obviously SGA, but we don't really like SGA, but he's most likely favored to win the MVP. And I saw the last MVP straw poll voting, which is fairly accurate. He was a minus 800 favorite to win it. So he won most of the votes. So who do you guys think? Obviously, I put the playoff picture in the mix in this the notes. Who's your guys sleeper? I'd say out of those teams below the.
I'm just gonna look at the West because the East it's the top 3 teams and no one else. So we talked about that last week. I don't think we even need to discuss the East because it's so weak this year. But a little sleeper team I do like this year. The Rockets could make some noise. I do like the Rockets at the 5 seed. Easy matchup with the Lakers at the 4 if Austin Reeves and Luka could potentially be out. But then they would face the Thunder, which that game would be fun because that's a gritty defensive team, the Rockets, and they're going to give the Thunder everything they could handle. I think my sleeper team is going to be the Rockets this year.
You think so? Even without no point guard, that's probably the main like crux of the Rockets. Even though they have fantastic defending, they have a lot of wings. You have KD, you have Sengun, you have Reed Shepherd just turned into like 2
Can't forget about Thompson, who's a really good defender.
He's a freak of nature. Him and his brother. But
I think the Rockets have an easy. Well, here's the thing: like their matchup with the Lakers, it's just the Lakers are such a weird. The Lakers are such a weird team because, like, one night they could look like they're the best team in the league.
Yep.
There's another night where they lose by 40.
The Thunder game was an absolute embarrassment. I mean,
I
thought they lose by game by like maybe double digits, maybe, and it'd be close. But after their first outside of Isaiah during the game, like first quarter, it was pretty much a wrap. It was almost a 20-point blowout by the end of the first quarter.
No, but to answer your original question, Isaiah, about surprise team, I'm looking at the picture here. I'm going with the T-Wolves. I really am.
They got to get healthy though. I wonder how Ant's going to play because he's been in and out the last like month. It seems he hasn't really played.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all depends on his health.
It very much does depend on his health, and I think that partly I bet you like he could have come back maybe sooner.
I hope it's just
but
that they're
like with the
resting him.
playoffs coming,
Yeah.
right? It's more or less. I think it's just kind of just resting him, kind of getting him ready. And I just think because I think in the NBA playoffs, the star power really comes out and takes over. It's a very different strategy and type of play than like college basketball would be, where you're relying on schemes and really good defense and good coaching and all that. I just think Edwards can take over a game at any point. To me, he's a top 3 player in the league. And when you have a top 3 player in the league, you're bound to win any game. And I'm very much high on that. And I think defensively they probably have enough. I mean, again, I haven't followed them a ton. I just know off the top of my head. And plus, they're a fun team to watch. They've been a fun team the last couple of years, and I just really like how they play. I think they match up well with the Nuggets. From there, I don't know, but I think they can make some noise. I think.
Talking about the Rockets a little bit more, and one specific player I want to talk officially coming back and look like his prime self late in that game was Steph Curry coming back against the Rockets, and he didn't play amazing in the first half, but man, that second
Yeah,
half
just took off.
was ridiculous. I mean, he said he wanted to come back for that play-in push, and that could be a little sneaky team that you don't want to face a Curry in the playoffs. That man knows what he's doing in the playoffs, and the Blazers, I think they could beat the Blazers.
And then they play the winner.
I agree.
They play the loser to 7-8 seed, which I think
it's going to be the Suns.
Yeah, and they did. Suns are tricky though. Suns are a really, really good team. Colin Gillespie, Devin Booker.
It all depends on the home,
Yeah.
because I think the home advantage is going to be the determining factor for either team. But right now, it's going to be the Suns who look like they're going to host that play-in game.
Yeah,
So I don't know, but I think it's going to stick the way it is. I don't think that we're going to see a lot of movement, at least in the West, for the play-in teams. I think it's going to the 9-10 seeds are going to stay the same, as so are the 7-8s. I don't think we're going to see any movement in terms of seeding. But I mean, Curry looked
How
really
soon
good.
until you think? How soon do you think until the play-in is removed?
I think they're going to keep it. It's
Yeah.
more money. Is it worth it? I don't think so, but no. And they're all streamed, I think, on like Amazon this year. I'm like, you're going to lose money for streaming on Amazon
yeah.
because no one's going to watch that.
That's
Like outside those fan bases of those teams, like you're not going to be really watching those games, and a lot of those teams are not going to be like the only team I can see that can be make some noise out of the East and West from the play-ins. Maybe the Heat if they can get hot, and maybe the Clippers, but that's really it.
I like the 76ers. They could be a little dangerous if they find, or not the Clippers, the 76ers,
Yeah.
excuse me.
With Paul George
Well,
playing
Paul
well,
George
yeah.
plays well, and Maxi's playing well, and Embiid. If they're all healthy, that's a
Sneaky team.
sneaky little team too. So we'll see.
definitely.
And another player I also wanted to talk about was April Cooper Flag. April Cooper Flag specifically dropping 50 and then dropping at 45 in back-to-back games. That dude's now projected to win Rookie of the Year over his former teammate, I should say, Con Canepo. But he just got whatever he wanted. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely cooked the Lakers.
I mean, he's a freak he's a fantastic player. Obviously, his outside shot game is something that he needs to work on, but you saw it against the Magic. I mean, 51 points, 30 shots, 19 to 30. It's good efficiency. 6 and 9 from 3. Made all his free throws. Like, he's a unique player. They need to build around him. I really like him as a player. He's really, really good. He should win Rookie of the Year. Con Canepo is a fantastic player as well. But obviously, with their scenario coming into this offseason, like we mentioned before, it's like, who are they going to add to him in this draft? Because they're going to be a top 5 pick in this draft. You have AJ DeBonta, you have Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff. Like, it depends on who you're going to try and move around him to be that next cornerstone
Projected
piece.
to get Kean
Yeah.
Wagler. So
I mean, that's an interesting piece as well. But obviously, you also have Kyrie still there, so you can
they
maybe
could be a little sneaky team next
Yeah,
year because Kyrie looks like he's enjoying his time in Dallas.
yeah, and then them fully healthy next to PJ Washington and Najee Marshall, Daniel Gafford, like they could definitely be a potential at their best, like fully healthy next season. I can definitely see them make the plan at the very least.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be a little sneaky
I'm
team.
with you. I'm with you on that.
And then award winner predictions we also have to potentially wrap up the NBA. I think it's Shea and Cooper Flag. Defensive Player of the Year is going to be Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
I don't know for Sixth Man of the Year. I haven't really heard much about the Sixth Man of the Year. And Comeback Player of the Year. Let's see. Award predictions NBA. My computer could load. It's a little slow.
Most
right
improved should be Jalen Duren. Like he's became an all-star, or Jalen Johnson, who's been more healthier now. He's an all-star as well. Last year was Dyson
I
Daniels.
agree.
This is one of those three players, in my opinion.
Most Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
Oh yeah, Nikhil. Oh my God! Even though
his bag is so deep.
like the game yesterday, I was watching the Knicks game. He was absolutely nuclear. Like I don't know what he learned from his cousin Shea, but he worked with him in the offseason. He just came a different beast. Like he dropped almost 40. I think was it 40 last night against us again in that Knicks game. He was absolutely nuclear. He was fantastic, getting anything he wanted. I mean, fantastic player. Yeah, he almost dropped 40, 36 points. 7 of 9, 7 of 11 from the 3-point line, 12 of 19 from the field. Like he was ridiculous, and he's a solid defender as well. That's also another team that we haven't really discussed playoff wise. Is the Hawks.
They could be good,
They
but
could be very,
it's
very
again
good.
the playoff experience that I think that's
Yeah.
going to get them.
But I mean, they're matching up.
They're
against
young,
the
though.
Cavs. They're a 5th seed right now against the 4th seed Cavs. I would favor them against the Cavs. Cavs is a team that's historically, I think last year didn't they not get out the first round?
Yeah, they didn't get out the first
Which
round.
is, I mean, the talent that they have. You have Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, you have Donovan Mitchell. They got rid of Darius Garland finally, but yeah, I don't know. The Cavs are just a team that we just don't really, I would say respect, but we know what's going to happen coming playoff time.
And then the 6th man of the
Okay.
year is going to be Keldon Johnson. They're all heavy favorites at this point. They're all minus favorites to win. So I think those are going to be the only one that's Cooper Flag and Con Knipple, and that's going to go back and forth. It all depends on who has the better finish to the year. But I think Nikhil Alexander-Walker, I'm surprised Jalen Duren isn't higher up. He's the 2nd, but he's not favored greatly. And then Denny Advia and then Jalen Johnson.
That's crazy.
Which I'm shocked about Jalen Johnson being the 4th one there. I thought he should be at least 3rd over Denny Advia, he's a great player, but he had a decent year last year. It's not like he had a terrible year to be in for most improved player, but that's just my opinion.
No, he's probably the best player on that Trailblazers team, and they're a playing team while Jalen Duren is on the best team in the East, possibly a team that can make the finals. So I don't know. That's kind of crazy to me that Keldon Johnson's the favorite.
You were going to say something, Nick? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I want to get both of your opinions. I mean, I don't follow the NBA as closely as you guys do because I just kind of wait for the playoffs. I want to hear both your takes on each of your own respective teams and where they feel.
I mean,
I think Celtics are the best team in the East right now. I mean, if everyone plays, I mean, that's an insane starting 5.
I don't know.
And Vucevic also now officially back as well. Tatum's really got his feet under him these last few games. He already has like the 2nd or most double-doubles on the team after missing 3/4 of the year. He's finding his groove. I just need to see more out of the Knicks. They've been up and down the last
That's true.
few weeks, and you don't want to be up and down going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I forgot last year, were they hot going into the playoffs?
Yeah, they were, but away they're still struggling again on the away record. Like I was hearing the hearing the broadcast when I was watching the Hawks game. Like in the back end of the season, like against teams over 500, they're like struggling and barely beating. So like I said, the Knicks, it all depends on Cat. It's just his aggressiveness on the floor. He was good last night. Got a double-double, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. 2 or 4 from 3. He wasn't taking ridiculous threes like he always does, where he just shoots at the top of the key half the time. You did decently well last night, but it just all depends on him because Jalen Brunson's going to show up when you need him the most. He showed up in that Hawks game. He showed up in the clutch, got a 30-point double-double, was efficient in that second half. OG Anunoby, again, we've been saying a lot of the times when we bring up the Knicks, he's the second best offensive player for the Knicks, which is a good/bad thing. But it's like,
Celtics do play the Knicks on Thursday.
that would be interesting.
I'm just interested to see, like, depending on what happens in their game leading up to that, because I think the Celtics officially locked down the 2 seed. If they're gonna, I think they're gonna beat Charlotte, so they're gonna locked into the 2 seed. But the Cavs are a game behind you. So are you gonna play all your starters? I would think you're gonna play all the starters to get the 3 seed. I just don't want it to be a bad game. I would love for it to be like a kind of a preview of a potential playoff meeting between us. But the Celtics, they're 2.5 games out. I think they're going to beat the Hornets. So I think a win against the Hornets will officially lock them into 2. But the Cavs are right behind you. I mean, that's going to be
We need to lock down the 3 seed. I would like to play the Raptors way more than playing the Hawks. The Hawks are a really scary team. They almost beat us last night. And Raptors, I'm not disrespect the Raptors, but it's the Raptors. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you guys should beat the
they're not a
Raptors.
major threat.
Because
I agree with you saying, Keen, about with
almost 500 away.
With Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Like he is, I think he is the X factor for us because you know what Brunson's going to do, but and it's a matter of you also got to like Cat's also just a very emotional player.
Yeah.
So you got to take his emotions and got to make sure we're using it to our advantage and not against us because there have been a lot of games, even the last year's playoffs, where I think Cat's emotions kind of got the best of him, and maybe he didn't play as well as he probably should have. And it pains me to say, but like I'm nervous for the Celtics because they're at full, they're healthy, and and when they're going, like we know that they can be. I don't want to play them. I really don't.
I think they're going to rest
I
Tatum. I think the last 2 games, that's the hope, and that they rest him if it's games that they're going to win, or if they lock down the 2 seed. I hope they rest him.
Me personally, like styles makes fights, and honestly, like I think our style and the players that we have and the wings that we have, and now we have a decent amount of depth. I'm not really, scared if we match up against you guys. Like last time, I thought we would lose against you guys, and then the 3-point shooting. I mean, you live and die by the 3, and you guys did that throughout the whole entire series, and you guys died by the 3. You guys couldn't really hit threes down the stretch, especially in games where you guys were up, and then the 3-point shot doesn't hit, and then we just start attacking the paint. You have Keita, who's a really good shot blocker, but would Jason Tatum come off an Achilles injury? I don't know. I feel like he might be pushing it a bit too much at times, but he's been, he's
been phenomenal.
He's been phenomenal recently. I'll give him his credit, but I don't know. I just feel like the Celtics as a whole, I just think their style, the way they play, it's we've seen it before. We adjusted before. All the players on the team, we beat them last year 4-1. The only team in the East that really scares me is the Pistons, even though they're basically on paper, it just seems like Cade and Jalen Duren, and then everyone else, but the way they're structured, like even in the games that they didn't have even Duren and Cade, that I would think was a Thunder game, they showed up somehow and almost beat them.
Yeah, I'm interested
to see.
In
the East, the team that scares me the most in the East is the Knicks because they're just so like Isaiah, you mentioned it earlier. They could be hot and they could be cold, and when they're cold, it's like it's cold, and so I get nervous a little bit with them. But like I said, I mean, we'll see. The East is just very wide open. Like anybody could win it.
Yeah, I don't trust the Pistons just yet, but we'll see because the Celtics do have more experience, and so do the Knicks in the playoffs. So we'll have to see with the Pistons and how Cade comes back from the collapse lung. But with about 10 minutes left, I think we talk quickly about what we can in the NFL and MLB. NFL, big news in New York.
I saw that.
Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade. Do I know if it was for a little bit of a wager to see if you could get that contract extension, or if you really want out?
I swear, if Joe Shane gets rid of him, I want him gone. Like this dude as a manager. Like I remember it was at the Hard Knocks episode. His son was suggesting to draft Jaden Daniels, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna pick him." And then Jaden Daniels had that phenomenal rookie year. Joe Shane is just, I mean, he just frustrates me on the GM. Like, we went from Gettleman to him. Like, even though, yes, they both made decent picks, but, like, overall in general, like, free agency, like the Saquon Barkley thing scenario, like, he fumbled that scenario horrendously. Like, he's not a good GM. Like, it's frustrating me.
And they had a solid offseason. It's not like they had a bad offseason.
They had decent offseason.
And now getting Harbaugh, the culture is going to shift there. You have a year 2 of Jackson Dart, year 2 of Cam Scatteraboo. You're going to have a healthy Malik Neighbors. You have a solid defensive line. Abdul Carter was playing better to end the year. And Sexy Dexy was like, it'd be a great mentor.
He's the best nose tackle in the league, and you're not going to sign him? That makes zero sense to me.
Because, he has no money pretty much after this year. Nothing guaranteed left.
Yeah, you have to lock him down long term. He's one of the best defensive pleers in the league, period. Full stop. But I don't know. Hopefully.
He's been super loyal to the Giants, and I was pissed when I heard about it. Like I was like I don't want to. I'm not gonna swear in here, but like I was like mother people, and it's kind of because like you said, he's been there through all of the bad, and it's like now things are kind of starting to shift. And we got Harbaugh there now, which I think is really gonna help. Given that he's been a proven winner, it was definitely caught by surprise for sure. like I said, it definitely has to be something money related. And you
I
know,
hope
I don't
it's just
know how
as
old he is.
a pulling of the string. Like, please just like extend me.
It
That's
could
my
be.
hope.
It could be, and I hope that's all it is too, because he's like you need him, and even if he's as he's getting older, maybe he's not as dominant as he probably once was. He's still dominant, but as he's just getting older, like you said, that's a veteran presence.
Yeah,
that you
like
need.
Jordan Davis
And-
got paid a lot of money. I still think he's a better player than Jordan Davis, even though he's a freak of nature. He's a huge human being, but still, Dexter Lawrence is still one of the best.
I can also see it as a positive in a way, because let's say you do trade him, like you could get a lot. You're gonna get a first rounder, a
100%.
first round pick, at least. You could get maybe 2 first round picks if that's the route you want to go. And then you could also, if you want to get, there's so much you could get for him that, in a way, maybe it isn't necessarily such a bad thing. But either way, I think it's gonna be a positive that comes out of it, whether he stays and signs or whether he gets traded. We'll see. And
Transitioning a little bit now to MLB, we could talk about for the last like around 8 minutes here on the Weekend Sports Recap. I think the one that caught social media by a storm was Joe Adell finally showcasing his defense in a singular game. I mean, he was struggling defensively at the start of his career, picked up a little bit in the latter part of his career, but really showed off his defensive skills, running 3 home runs in a game, which I don't think I've ever seen before. And his third one was absolutely ridiculous, jumping into the crowd
That
to
was
save
sick.
it, and then with the photo
That
of
was
him
sick.
holding it up
Yeah.
like the Statue of Liberty, and that's great. I mean, that was amazing. I mean, the other robberies weren't like, they were just jumping over the yellow line kind of robberies, but that third one was beautiful. I mean, talk about Sports Center top 10. I don't even know if that was number 1. I would have to think it was number
It
1.
should have been. I don't think it was, but it definitely should be.
Yeah, that was insane. And a little bit more talking about teams itself. Jays really struggling, which is shocking to me. Losing series to the Rockies and to the White Sox. I don't know what to expect from the Blue Jays. I mean, obviously it's a long season, but those are 2 bad series losses. I mean, this is gonna be a tough rebound. And you also got, I mean, it's the Dodgers, but you got smacked against the Dodgers last night. But I don't know. It's still so early. Marlins, I think I didn't know how pesky they are, but they're a little pesky team
Very
this
pesky
year.
team.
Especially obviously seeing them close up because of the Yankees, and we're all Yankee fans, but that's a little sneaky team that's could make some noise and cause. I think they could be a team that could play spoiler at the end of the year if they keep playing like this. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they could play a spoiler. And there's one kid, I think it's Ramirez on that team, or not Ramirez, Edward something. I think he was a great hitter. Xavier Edwards, I think.
Xavier
Batting-
Edwards, he's the best player.
Batting
Yeah.
430 right now.
5 RBIs, homer. Like he's fantastic. Sandy Alcantara is one of the best pitchers in the league. Liam Hicks, another good player for them. Like they have pretty good, contact hitters. But obviously, it's super, super early in the year. It's hard to tell really based off of what we've seen so far because the Yankees are playing good. But
Tough loss yesterday on Sunday.
Yeah, very, very. They were playing good for the first half of the game, and then they started to melt down, and then they gave up the game. But I don't know. I seen a post by, I forgot who it was, on Instagram saying that the Yankees will do fantastic for the first 20 games, and then the next 30 games they'll win like 3. And then
I saw that.
They barely make the playoffs, win the wild card, and then lose after that. Like
I think this is the year they win the division again, because it's tough to go back to back and winning divisions. But the AL's open too. It's not. I mean, the Mariners are pretty solid as well.
yeah, the Red Sox have been terrible.
Oh, the Red Sox have been awful.
2-8. Yeesh. Oof.
I mean,
Romantic's been
the
decent, but-
Mariners are solid, but obviously haven't been playing great. It's the weird beginning part of the year. Like by the time the year ends, no way the Angels are going to be first in the division. And you look at the NL,
Wow.
no way that the NL East? I think the Marlins, no way they're going to be tied for second place. The Mets are going to be tied for first as well. I mean, the Mets could be tied for first, but they had a big series against the Giants, winning 3 of 4, which they needed after losing a series to the Cardinals, who have been a little bit of a sneakier team this year, but haven't done much on the road. But it's the weird point. Like the Pirates, no way they're going to be like
No.
potential wild card team. I don't see that.
They
Obviously,
could. Whoa.
I mean,
they
do have
could
some
be,
good
but I can't
players.
see them being a wild card team when you look at when you look at a picture for the NL. Do I think that they're better than the Mets? I don't think that they're better than the Mets. So I think they're better than the Braves and Padres. No. Do I think they're better than the Cubs? No.
What do you think about them, Nick? I kind of somewhat agree with you about the Pirates. I think they're kind of underrated.
Yeah, I just don't think it's so unfair to make judgments right now.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we just react to things that are happening right now. Like Red Sox stink. Like it's kind of a surprise that they're this bad. I thought, and then like you said, like it's just the beauty of baseball. Like the Yankees, like I'm a dire Yankee fan, as we all know. You guys are as well. Like they're off to a hot start, but then the month of June they could go, below 500.
I don't
And then
know.
they
I
make
feel
a
like this
playoff
year is going to be a little bit different for the Yankees, that they'll actually play well in the summer. We'll see. I mean, I could just be throwing
said
out
this
whatever,
every
but I
year,
think they
though.
could be. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're going to be like an amazing team in the summer, but I think they're going to have a better summer than previous years when they looked like the worst team in baseball.
No, I agree. I think the best thing I love about this Yankees team was, and it was essentially they just essentially just running it back from last year, and that they have guys that really want to be there, and they just have. To me, they have the best pitching staff in baseball.
Oh,
Like first,
100%,
Cam Schlittler.
Shout out
is
Ben
putting
Rice
up
too.
Skeens. Shout out Ben Rice, but Cam Schlittler is putting up Skeens numbers right now.
I think better
And
numbers than
it's-
Skeens when in this first like 15 starts.
It's incredible to watch, and then you don't. Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon aren't even healthy yet.
Mm-mm.
So you bring them back into the fold, and then I don't care who else they have, but when you have Aaron Judge on your team, you're gonna
Playing
do
better.
well. So I'm not worried about him. The Marlins, though, are definitely a very sneaky team for sure. I think what was funny was I think Sandy Alcantara has been in trade talks every single year.
I would love
since
the
he's been in
Yankees to
league.
get
He still hasn't
Alcantara.
and he still hasn't been traded yet, which is funny to me. But no, as I'm reading our itinerary, Juan Soto's injury.
Yeah,
I don't know
15
how you
days,
guys
at
feel
least 2
about
or
it.
3 weeks.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah,
It's the Mets.
he's again. It's the Mets. It is the Mets. I'd rather. I mean, obviously, I never want anybody to be hurt.
Yeah, no,
But
obviously.
if he's going to be hurt, it probably. I mean, now is not the worst time in the world. Plus, the first month of the season, statistically, the most injuries happen in the first month of the season.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily surprising. You just hope that he gets better and he gets healthy, and we'll see how it affects the Mets.
So that is 10 o'clock, a minute till 10. So we got to wrap up. The next show is waiting for us outside. So we just want to say thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Weekend Sports Recap. I'm Isaiah Rosario, joined by Akeem Taylor and our new co-host, Nick Carparelli. Thank you officially for joining us, Nick. And we're excited for the final 3 shows of the semester. Hopefully we could talk a little bit more transfer portal and hopefully talk more NBA, because I feel like we've a bit neglected the NBA due to college. So hopefully we could talk about more MLB and more NBA in the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
So see you again, same place, same time next week, 9 o'clock on Tuesday here at the WIR studios at Iona University.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR